Power steering, it is rather now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and I already started that off wrong. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 12 here for SF1 GP1 on a Sunday night. We are on the Silverstone Grand Prix, British Grand Prix, as everybody knows. This is the league's home track. You have to be mindful, I was off last week, so I'm kind of jumping right back into it. Just waiting for some of these guys to jump onto the track here for a short qualifying. How is everybody doing? It's good to be back. I missed you guys last week. Hopefully everybody's had a solid week so far. I was pretty busy on my end. Looks like Eke is going to be the first driver out this evening in the Renault team. Let's see what kind of time he can get himself on. I wonder if these guys are going to have any rain. It's all softs as we see so far. Actually, I think I'm getting an update from some of the drivers, so I'm going to take a look. Let me know if the levels are actually pretty good. Yeah, okay. So there's definitely some rain that's going to hit this race at the beginning. So it's going to be quite spicy. Birdie told me rain. Yeah, I just saw rain too, Croce. What is going on? Good to see you in the chat. Let's see. Just let me know if the levels are good. I had to switch it because Carlos streamed last week, so I know he had to touch on some of the levels. I had to give it a bit of a push on my end. Right here, let's jump on board. Let's see what Eke can do for his first pushing lap. Currently on a hot lap, or no, not a hot lap. He's on an out lap right now, warming those tires, gearing up that Renault to have a good race, a good qualifying, that is. Have to jump right back into it. I gotta sip some of this coffee that I have. So I'm sure you guys saw. Croce's actually the guy that showed me the one-off McLaren livery that's going to be run at the Monaco Grand Prix next week. And I just have to say, that is a stunning looking car. But we're going to jump on board with Eke for our first lap around the Silverstone Circuit here for the British, our home Grand Prix. Let's see how Eke gets on. There's a car coming out of the pits. It is a Ferrari of Zero. Zero is going to probably move right out of the way. Okay, taking that corner, nice. Definitely sunny. It's going to change though once the race comes. DRS is now open for Eke. His helmet's all white. I wonder if it just hasn't loaded yet. Yeah, sipping on that coffee. Coming up to the old start where they used to start the Grand Prix. I believe that is where they start the MotoGP race still from. Hangs it around that fast left-hander or right-hander. Coming up to Maggots and Beckett's, my favorite part of the track actually. You can gain or lose so much time through there. Looks like he goes a little deep into that final corner. DRS is now back open. A lot of guys on an out lap right now. A couple guys still sitting in the pits. You see, yeah, Bill. We have a couple reserves actually in for this race as well. So we'll be keen to watch what they can do this evening. Okay, coming up to complete his lap, his first flying lap. Let's see what kind of time he can get on the boards here. I believe he's won this race in SF1 before. It comes across the line with a 124.6. So that is the benchmark time to beat this evening. Let's see if anybody can have a nice little go at that time. Jump on board with a couple of the other guys. Soap is currently on a flyer. Senna is on a flyer as we speak, just starting his lap now. Luke, let's see what kind of time Luke can get himself into. He's going to be the next guy to cross, I believe. He is, so let's see what the AlphaTauri driver can do this evening. Crosses the line with 125.8. Run down the rest of the order here. So having it go at Maggots and Beckett. Sync, that's one thing I'd like to point out. Sync makes his return to SF1. Was geared up to start racing at the beginning of the season. Fortunately for some personal matters. He had to step out, but he's back in, so it's good to see him. Goes quickest on the board with a 24.5. So that's something to keep an eye on. Could we have Sync on a podium this evening for that Haas team? Haas desperately need some kind of nice little revival. Sync could be that driver that gives them a revival. When I mean revival, I'm talking about the combined points, as you guys will see when we're waiting for this race to kick off for that 5-minute complimentary break. Devla GP2 currently leading GP2 right now. Definitely one of the quicker drivers. He does have an SF1 GP1 podium from last season too, so we'll have to keep an eye on what the Racing Point team can do this evening. His teammate from GP2, Bill, is there as well. Keep an eye on some of these other guys. Lots of times now jumping in. JML goes to 24.6. We have Enzo putting in a 24.7. Sopa's a 24.8. We have Zero 25.5. Stig, for some reason, ran a medium compound, has put in a 25.7. Luke's going to pull into the pits. Let's see, Hellboy, he's going through Maggots and Beckets now. Lando's on for an outlap. We'll give a nice birthday shout out to Mr. Lando in that Renault. It is his birthday today. Harrison now coming up to complete his lap. Let's see if he can top a 24.5 sent by Sync. Was that a bit of a glitch on my end or not? I'm not sure, but we're going to see. Harrison cross the line now. It's going to be a 24.6. Good enough for P2 right now. Just 100 better than his teammates. So the Mercedes right now starting this race, P2 and P3. Will that hold or will it change? We're going to know in about 11 minutes. Pulls in the pits. Eke is going to go for another flyer, it seems. Lando now, let's jump on board with the birthday man himself. See what kind of time he can get. He's on an outlap actually, so we'll just give that a moment. Rasta, let's see what time he can finish. He's actually on an in-lap. He's turned off his ERS. I just noticed that. Bill has retired. Devla has retired, which reserves in this league. If you are reserving for a top or a higher tier driver, you do have to retire and start from further behind. Whoa, Eke! No, Lando. I thought it was Eke for a second. Lando loses the back end going up through the turn 1. So he's going to jump back onto track, turn off everything, and have another go. Hubdy's finally making his way out with that Alfa Romeo. Sync is going to go out just ahead of him. Harrison pulling into the pits. Currently P2 on the board. Eke on an outlap right now is going to try to give it another go. Let's jump back through. So Bumbledore will definitely have to retire from the pits. He is reserving this evening for the Williams team, as Amandale is not here. Senna is on an outlap. Looks like Lando's a little far behind, so he's going to have a bit of road to tackle before he can start another flyer. Stay on board with Senna. He's going to start his flying lap now. Let's see what kind of time the Ferrari driver can get on board. I missed last week's race, so that was that's why I was like, no stream or anything. Just getting right back into it. DRS is now open for Senna. A lot of these guys, it's a lot of their home track, so I'm sure they're pretty keen to get a nice race in this evening for themselves. In fact, out of the 17 drivers that are here this evening, I would have to take a stab at this being at least 12 to 13 of these drivers' home track. I know it's not Enzo, Hellboy, Soap, or Eke. Let's see, Senna is coming up. Back DRS straight here. Couple corners remain. Rounding the final right-hander. Goes a little wide there. crosses line, good enough for P10 right now for the Ferrari driver with a 25.7. Let's jump down with Hubdy, who doesn't have a time on the board, but he is working on that as we speak. I thought he was pretty close, but he keeps it in track. He can invalidate quite a bit there. And he, as I just said, that he just invalidates his lap, so he's going to have to turn everything off and have another go. He's still pushing, though. Still has his ERS and overtake. I wonder if he knows that. Wonder if he's going to pull into the pits as well. So Sink's still on top of the leaderboard right now on time. So he's sitting provisional poles. We count down to 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Harrison staying in second right now. His teammate just behind him. P3. He does set a purple sector 2 though. Is JML going to top the board here in a moment's time? We'll stay on board with the Mercedes driver, see if he can do it. JML goes top of the board right now, ladies and gentlemen, with a 24.2. And Enzo pops in at 24.4. So JML has 2/10 over top of Enzo. See what his teammate can do. Eke on an out lap. We have Zero on an out lap. We have Rasta is on an out lap, as well as Lando, the birthday man. Who is he following? He is following Zero through Megates and Beckett's. And he cut that corner quite immensely. Had a bit of a scuffle last week. I believe he was cutting a couple corners and then deliberately went backwards at one point in qualifying, I believe, which was very, very dangerous from the steward's perspective. So not the weekend he was looking for last weekend. Let's see if he had a better weekend. Being his birthday, he might be a little hungover from a certain type of special adult sauce. No, he gets a little out of shape there. Abdi's on his way back out now. Harrison does pop into P2. See if Enzo has invalidated, so he's going to have to give it another go. Plenty of time to do so, though. Where's Eke at? He just crosses the line. Stays P5 for the time being. Two McLarens looking pretty pacey this evening, both 6th and 7th. Let's see what time Stick can get himself into. Crosses the line, good enough for P6 on a set of softs. See what kind of pace. I know he favors Lorraine a lot in this game, so we'll see what kind of pace he can get himself into. Zero turn down to come, and we have 4 minutes now. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remain. Let's see if Dumbledore pulls into the pits and retires. Looks like he's going to do just that. Alright, so we do have 3 reserves. Still on an out lap. Looks like Lando's going to pull into the pits as well. A lot of guys are pulling into the pits here in the closing stages of qualifying. I wonder if they're going to put on a new soft compound and give it that one last go. Longest pit straight, I believe, in the season, Delta-wise. I know that for sure. Alright, let's jump on board with Hubs as we see the Alfa Romeo tackle the Silverstone Circuit. See what kind of time Hubs can do. Don't want to put any pressure on you, Hubs, if you're listening. The track had a little bit of dirt on there. I wonder who went wide. Nice and smooth. Good entry from Hubdy. And a solid exit. Now this is where the speed really comes on board. Doesn't lift. Does he get wide? No, he doesn't. Coming into Maggots and Beckett's. How brave do you want to be going through here? Little deep. He's gonna go. That's gonna push him a little deep. Oh, that was close. Abdi held on though through Maggots and Beckett's. He went really deep in that one corner. You have yellow flags flying ahead. Not sure what that's for. I wonder if it's for somebody moving out of the way. 2 minutes now and 50 seconds remain. Looks like Hubs was just a little hesitant on the entry there. Coming out of the final right-hander to cross the line. Good enough for P11. So sitting at a 125.7. So JML still topping this session right now. We have pretty much our last run coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who might grab pole position for the Silverstone Grand Prix with a lot of rain on the way. Surprised the clouds aren't even showing up at right now. Enzo sitting P3, Sync right now in 4th. We have 0 deciding that's it. He's going to call it for P9. I probably have to guess that most of these guys are driving on a wet setup or even a hybrid setup. I believe there's... Let's see, actually. Take a look at this weather. Heavy rain with wet track conditions. By 20 minutes, it's supposed to lighten up, so if they do start on a wet compound, it's going to move into an intermediate compound. And then by 45 plus, it looks like it's going to be dry. So I wonder if we're going to see a wet, intermediate, and dry session. What's funny is we were loading up into this lobby, and SF1 Stig sent me a message that said, I smell rain. Senna goes a bit deep. Doesn't cut off his lap, though. He is on an out lap. Hubs, I believe, is going to pull into the pits now. Yeah, so that's going to be his qualifying done with at P11. Lando still fighting that car quite a bit. Is he on an out lap? He is. Let's take a look now. Enzo is not on an out lap, so let's see what kind of time he can get himself into. Pat sitting in the corner there, getting out of the way for the Williams driver. Oh, just by the inch. Enzo invalidates his lap, so he's going to have one more stab at it. He has plenty of time. 30 seconds as he crosses the line here. Can he have a go? Starting his lap now. Sync starts his final lap. Where's Harrison? Harrison's coming out of turn 1 now. JML just ahead of him. Maybe a bit of team orders. I wonder if JML's going to give Harrison a bit of a tow. Who is going to be the first to cross the line? I believe it is going to be Eke, who sets a purple sector 2. A lot of these times might get a lot faster towards the end of this session. Let's see what time Eke can charge with at the very end here. Qualifying is done, so these flying laps will count. Locks up on the front left. Coming down to the line, that was a terrible camera angle. Gets a little out of shape, goes a 24.1, good enough for pole. Who's going to be next? It's going to be one of the McLarens. Soap doesn't improve. Will Hellboy improve? Doesn't improve. We have an AlphaTauri coming down. Is that Luke? That's not Luke, that's Rossimo. What time is he going to cross with? Doesn't improve. Alright, let's jump to the Mercedes duo. It looks like JML was giving him a bit of a tow. Let's see what time Harrison can pull in. As you can see, JML pulls to the pits. 23. Harrison goes top of the board, 24.1. Where's Sync at? Sync is still finishing up his lap. We have Lando. Is he going to get a lap in on the board? He does. P8 for him. We have a Ferrari. It's going to be Senna. Senna crosses the line and stays P13. Let's jump on board with Sync. He's going to pull into the pits, so that's going to be him done with his session. I believe that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be your qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. Round 12, Harrison grabs the pole position, followed by Eke in P2, JML in P3, Enzo P4, Sync Rainer P5, on a solid qualifying for himself on his return. We have Hellboy P6, and to cut me off. Oh, okay, I thought it said Luke left the session. Hopefully not. Hopefully connection is not a problem this evening. This game, the older it gets, the worse it gets with connection. We have Harrison, like I mentioned, pole position for the British Grand Prix, so he'd be happy. His home Grand Prix gets himself a pole position. Eke P2, JML is P3. We have Enzo in fourth. Sick Rainer is fifth. We have Hellboy sixth. Stig seventh. Lando is eighth. We have Soap ninth. Zero 10th. Luke is 11th. Rostamol 12th. SF1 Senna is 13th. Hubdy 14th. Then we have the three reserves this evening. Bumbledore is going to start P15, Devil is 16th, and Bill is going to start this race in P17. So once we load up, I'll give you guys a rundown of the championship points so far coming up to round 12. Round 18 rounds in this season, so we have 6 races pretty much left. It is going to come down to the wire with some of these guys and some of the points, how close they are. Devla has left the session. Hopefully he can get himself back in before we set off. He should be able to. But look at that rain, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't it look glorious? I love when it rains. Let's see what these guys can do. Give you guys a rundown of the combined points. It's GP2, 1, and 3, all combined as a team. That way they can race as a team and be felt a little bit more like a proper team. Right now, Williams still leading the way. We have Alfa Romeo in second. We have Mercedes in third. Racing Point make a move back up to fourth. We have Ferrari dropping to fifth. Renault in sixth. We have Red Bull in seventh. McLaren eighth. AlphaTauri taking over Haas last week to move up to ninth. And we have Haas, like I mentioned earlier, needing those points. Maybe Sin can bring a good solid bunch of points to him this evening. But Haas is sitting 10th. Now, let's look at the drivers' points. So far, coming into round 12, we have Harrison leading the way. We have Eke in second. JML is third. We have Enzo fourth. Mattis Gamerboss, not here this evening, is fifth. We have Zero sitting sixth. We have Stig seventh. Amadale eighth. Hubs is ninth. Senna is 10th. We have Hellboy in 11th. Lando is 12th. We have the Lando number is 4. That's what tripped me up. But we have Soap in 13th. We have Mama in 14th, not able to make it this evening. Shoof is 15th, not here. Ross has decided that he is going to move to PC racing, so we will not see him for the remainder of the season. And that is why you see Devla and you see Bill in those racing points this evening. Luke and Rasa, brand new drivers. I think this is their third race so far. So right now, sitting 17th and 18th. And Jono still MIA. Wonder if we'll see Jono at the end of the season. We'll see. But there you guys have the points. I'm going to rest my voice for just a bit while we wait for these guys to gear up and go racing. Should be, what is it? It is 58 on the mark, so probably at right at the hour or just after the hour. So stay with us. We are going to have one heck of a race coming up. Rain is included. You know that's going to make some kind of flashy, maybe explosion, but we'll see. I'll stay with you guys in the meantime. Cannot wait for this race. Gonna rest my voice, drink some coffee, kick back, and get ready to race. Looks like these guys are about ready to go racing, so let's get this under our belts. 26 laps. I was gonna say I can't remember how many laps it was. I wasn't on for the Friday race. I was stuck at work, so I wasn't home. But yeah, heavy rain here for the race. Get you guys this telemetry up for you guys. Be keen to see. So Harrison is going to start this race from P1. Okay, right behind him, the championship battle is going to be carried into round 12. Let's jump and see the rain that is coming down so far. Super heavy. It is full wets for sure. A lot of guys warming those tires. It's keen to get a lot of temperature as much as you can into these full wets. They're going to be stone cold at the beginning of this race. So this outlap is definitely very, very vital to get the temperature in the brakes, the engine, and the tires. Run down through the field. Looks like everybody is away for the formation lap. Looks like it's going to be the case. Is that Devla? It's Devla. Hopefully he's back in. I think it doesn't allow him to take part in the formation lap if you lose connection in between, but this is the man that's going to line up at P1. Can he get a good start? It's going to be very, very difficult in this kind of tricky condition. I know a couple of these guys definitely don't use assist, so starting this race in the rain, they're going to be very, very gentle on that throttle, I'm sure. Everybody warming those tires quite a bit, too. Could have another solid race this evening for the Mercedes duo. One of the strongest teams, I would say, in GP1. Looks like everybody has been taken over control by the game. I'll be in the chat saying, come on, AlphaTauri. And let's make sure everybody's pulled up to their spot. It looks like that's going to be the case. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for 26 laps of the British Grand Prix? A little bit of rain to start this race out. 5 red laps we are waiting for. 5 are lit. And we are go, go, go. Let's see if we can get a good start. Couple guys getting a little sideways. Harrison gets a little sideways. Eke pulls up through. JML looks like he's pulled up through as well. They go a bit wide for JML. Coming up to turn. Whoa! Oh, Harrison. What has happened to Harrison? I think he's went off somewhere coming in. This is crazy. Let's jump on board with some of the action here with the McLaren driver. See the full wet coming. Oh, the McLaren getting a little out of shape there. Easy does it. Oh, there's Colette. Oh, whoa, there goes another Alfa Romeo. This is getting a bit spicy. Is he gonna go? Is it hell? I can't tell who it is. Side by side. We will put the Delta back up as soon as lap 1 is complete, but these guys in the back really sparring for those positions as we start this race. There's Harrison. Let's see what has happened. Oh, okay. I think that's Bumbledore just passing everybody like, oh, AlphaTauri might be having a little bit of trouble as well. I think Devla's still ghosting. I'm not sure why. But Eke leading the charge so far in this race. Harrison having a abysmal start. Unfortunately, JML puts himself into P2 sync. Sync Raynor has found himself in 3rd after the start of this race. Enzo is 4th. We have one of the Ferrari drivers gonna box. So he's gonna box early for some reason. He doesn't have any damage, I didn't see. No damage for... I wonder if he got a drive-through. 0 drive-through for jump start. He did. We'll get you guys the Delta back up. Jump on board. The Delta's going to be all screwy now. And we know that Eke is leading this race. Everybody's ghosting for some reason. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Now let me make sure I'm not. Okay, he's back. JML is definitely ghosting for some reason. Hopefully that turned. All right, looks like it's turned off. I wonder if some of these guys were clipping something. Run down through the field. As soon as this Delta figures itself out. Unfortunately for Zero, jump starting, he's gonna find himself in last place with quite a gap between himself and I believe it's Devla's ghosting car still. Bill fighting with Rastamal here. Ah, there you go. The Delta is now fixed. JML still right behind. Sync having a look here as well. Let's jump on board with the Hash driver and see the kind of conditions these guys are fighting with so far in lap 2 here. No DRS is going to be available for them once they cross the line for lap 3 because of the conditions. Eke looks like he goes a bit deep. Conditions are definitely hard to see. Easy on the throttle. Looks like they do. A lot of guys jumping through. Looks like Enzo sets the fastest lap on lap 2. Tires are definitely coming up to temperature. Both of them really fighting this car. Just immensely crazy right now. Stig has found himself up to P6. Can he get himself further up with this condition? I know he really enjoys the rain. Abdi has found himself battling the birthday man of Lando just ahead of him. Can he put that Alfa Romeo ahead of the Renault? How is everybody else doing? We have a move, lowered Bumbledore, Devla ghosting still. So Bill gets past. We have Rasimil just ahead. Luke has found himself towards the back as well. I wonder if he's lost control of the car. I think he has just a little bit. Or if he's battling some kind of underneath problems with that AlphaTauri. Rasimil gets passed by the Racing Point of Bill. Harrison still sitting P11, so unfortunate start for himself this evening. He has a pack of cars ahead of him. What has happened to JML? Doesn't seem to be anything. So this is going to be a bit of a spicy move. Sync's gotten around JML. Now sitting P2. All these guys up front. This is going to give Hellboy a look here soon. Jump on board with SF1 Stig. See what he's seeing just ahead. You can see the leaders right there. Still rain falls here at the British Grand Prix. Would say that's not much of a surprise seeing that it is England. It is raining quite hard too. You can see it's sideways. Zero sets the fastest lap. A lot of these guys really fighting for position here still. A lot of the top drivers really. Keep an eye on the Delta. We have Harrison now making a move on SF1 Senna. Looks like it is going to be done and dusted before they get to the turn. I think Senna gave him the inside line. Didn't want to fight him too much. So Harrison puts himself back up to P10. But still, his closest championship battle with Eke. Eke sitting P2 right now. Luke has retired from the race. It looks like he's retired outside in the pits. Okay. Nobody is around that AlphaTauri, so it should be a clear track momentarily. Still yellow sector 1 though. Enzo gets around JML, pulls to the right ahead into P3. Stig, can he get closer to Hellboy? Hellboy's really making him work for it. Sync right now in charge of this race. Sitting P1 after starting, I believe he started P4 or P5, I can't remember. I think it was P5. Unfortunate for Zero getting a drive-through. Must have jump-start the race. Can't tell if that rain is getting a little lighter or not. Bill sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:41.3. J-Mel sitting behind the Williams driver of Enzo. Could it be a completely different podium? I know both J-Mel and Harrison sat on the podium at France last week. Could we see a podium without a Mercedes team on this week? Clouds, they look a little brighter. I wonder if the rain is starting to subside just a bit. Stig still trying to get himself closer to Hellboy. Sink controlling this race quite nicely. Harrison now on the back of Soap. What would you take this on? Lord Bumbledore is, okay, that was interesting. I wonder if that was a bit of a ghosting issue or latency issue. No damage to the Williams driver, but I wonder if that's what that was. We'll have to keep an eye on that for the stewards, but I'm not sure what that was about. Hubsy has a group of cars behind him. He has Soap and Harrison. Let's jump on board with Harrison as he's trying to get himself through the field and back up to where he started. You still see the rain is coming down quite heavily. Sink sets the fastest lap. Clear track. Why not? I think he's starting to put his foot down as much as he can. That would be quite a return for him. Devlin gets a 3-second time penalty. Is that him? He's ghosting, so it was his ghosting car that did that. Jump on board with Hubs. You can see the back rear view mirror full of a McLaren Soap. We have Harrison right there too. The clouds are starting to clear just a bit. Rain doesn't... Alright, there are certain spots of the track where the rain looks pretty heavy. Harrison gets himself a 3-second time penalty, so that is not going to help him this evening whatsoever. We have Enzo now working on the back of Eke for P2 in this race. Jump back on board. J-Mel laying in the wake just in case something happens between the two drivers. Will Enzo go for an overtake? No DRS to help him, so he's got to use his battery. And his fuel doesn't look like it's going to happen just yet. Eke goes to the outside, cover him. Okay, we'll have the inside here for this turn. Looks like... Oh, what is that? Sinks into the pits. Interesting. Let's see what this driver does. Is he going to go for another set of wets? Or is he going to be the first to blink for an intermediate? He's going to the intermediates, ladies and gentlemen. He thinks it's time for intermediates. Let's see. Soap gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Has Sink made the right call? We have Harrison is in the pits as well. He's gone for... Actually, let's get the tires up now that we have a couple guys swapping for different tires. Harrison has gone for an intermediate compound as well. Is it that time? There's definitely a racing line forming. I think some of these guys are really struggling. Enzo really going after it against Eke. Getting closer and closer. Eke is going to hold out. Oh, that's great. Is he going to make the pass on the outside? There's a bit of collision. No damage though, but that's going to open the door for JML. Enzo, that was a bit brave. Brave and a half, really. That puts these guys, where are these guys going to go up to? I wonder if it's going to quit raining before. Let's take a look and see if Enzo dives to the pits. Sink is really catching Devla. I believe Devla's still ghosting, so we're going to have a slew of cars landing in the pits here now. Enzo's in the pits. Everybody's in the pits. Keep an eye on this man. Zero just ahead. Zero's going to pull into the pits as well. Somebody has stayed out. I believe that was Hubdy who stayed out. Didn't want to double stack the Alpha team. Here goes Sync now. Sets the fastest lap. He's going to have a clear track ahead of him. A lot of the guys still on their way out of the pits. Enzo is just now coming out of the pits. So that really worked in Sync's favor. He got quite a lead from that. The real question will happen is once this this weather clears up, how long will we have on a dry compound? Will that pay dividends for Sync, or will he start to lose a bit of time between Enzo and Eke behind him? Two drivers still on out. What is it? I can't tell if Devil is here or not. His car is ghosting. I have no idea at this point. Zero drives past the Rastamol there. Hubs having to stay out on another lap for those wet compounds due to Stig boxing for the intermediates. Where is Stig? Stig is still battling. Hellboy just ahead. Harrison gets himself back up to P7. So his early box helped him a lot. One of these two. It looks like Hubs is now in the pits. Hellboy's, or not Hellboy, Bill's now in the pits as well. Putting Sync back up to the lead of this race. Sync sets a 37.9. Let's see if Enzo or Eke have anything to match that. Stig gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So those penalties are starting to come in. So Sync with boxing that early lap for that undercut has given himself a 7-second lead. In doing so, JML is sitting P4 right now, still battling Eke just ahead. Solid race so far. Oh, Senna's got himself a 3-second time penalty. But solid race so far from JML, sitting P4 just outside of a podium. If anybody up in front of him picks up a 3-second, he keeps it clean. I can see a Mercedes on one of those podium steps. Stig finally makes his way around Hellboy. Let's see if he can chase down that Mercedes ahead of him. Both are sitting on a 3-second time penalty. So, right behind the birthday man, Lando. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't tell with this one. As Enzo gets himself a 3-second time penalty, what I was just mentioning. That puts JML in a position to take a podium for P3. If the race finished now, that's what it would stand. This man just opening up the gap as much as he can. Still hovering around that 7 seconds. Let's see if Enzo can bring it down. Harrison sets a fast lap. A 37 flat. JML just picked up his 3-second time penalty. I did catch that, so that now puts both Mercedes on a 3-second. That is unfortunate, so Eke has kept it clean as well as Sync. Enzo ahead. As a 3-second time penalty, we have Soap here still fighting that Renault. Locking up a little bit. Lando gets himself a 3-second time penalty as Soap gets sideways. These guys really pushing the cars to the limits this evening. Bit of a gap is forming from the guys ahead. Can Stig claw his way closer? Harrison is starting to catch the back end of his teammate. As JML's really looking for a move here with Eke here soon. Oh, these guys are clearing quite quickly. I wonder if the dries are going to come by lap 15, possibly? Could have a solid 10 laps on a dry compound. Harrison's really trying to put his foot down, you can tell. Sink now with a 7.8 second gap. 37 flat for Sink to set the fastest lap so far in this race as we were coming up to lap 11. Hubsy gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers left without a time penalty. Stig sets a fast lap at 36.7. This track is definitely improving. J-Mel really fighting the back of that Renault. Let's jump on board and get a rear view look. He has both Mercedes coming up quickly. I'm gonna say this rain, I thought it stopped raining for a second. It definitely looked like it wasn't raining at one point. I think Eke is really starting to struggle with the changing conditions. Enzo's bringing a little bit of a gap between himself and the Renault driver with just about 2 seconds. Somebody is catching another person though. Stig is starting to put the gap down between himself and Harrison just ahead. Yeah, you can tell he's really pushing to try to get himself clawing back up with Harrison. The rain is definitely starting to lighten up quite a bit. Clouds are starting to clear. Guys in the chat, when do you think we'll see the tri-compound? I think I've overshot myself saying lap 15, but this track could dry out quite quickly. Though it is raining quite a bit there at the final corner of this track. To keep an eye on some of the other battles, like we have Soap going on with Lando. The rest of the guys towards the back are a little spaced out. Odd enough to see Zero down that far. Fortunate with that jump start at the beginning of the race. It's the only reason why I think he's down this far. Oh, Soap gets sideways. Fighting that McLaren. What an odd thing to see. A McLaren battling a driver with the name Lando. Keep an eye on this battle though. It is getting quite intense. Both Mercedes trying to keep close to the Renault. And Alfa Romeo goes way off track there. Stig. That's not the track, mate. Yeah, Sink. What a strong performance so far for his return. 7.7 seconds separate him from Enzo. Could be a spanner in the works for both Eke and Harrison leading into the final stages of these this season. And Stig goes a little bit wide again. He's gonna have to be careful. He probably picked up about a few warnings so far. He could put himself up to 6 seconds worth of time penalties, but he is still trying to fight these Mercedes ahead. For some reason, they're telling us that there's another pit stop strategy now available. Okay, doing what he has to stay in P3. Some of the camera angles here at this track I'm not a fan of. Zero sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.7. Stig has fallen a little bit off of Harrison just ahead, and one of Harrison and JML working together to try to bring Eke into attack range. Devla gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I don't know if that's him or if it's the AI. Can't really tell at this point. Yeah, so now it's telling me Harrison has another intermediate call. I wonder if these guys are trying to make these intermediates last as long as possible. If dry is on its way. Can't tell just yet. I mean, it's still raining, so it's going to be a gamble to try to hold on to these tires currently and bring them to a point where we might see dry weather. No safety car or virtual safety car, though, so far this race. Gap at the top now has dissipated just a bit. It's 6.5 seconds now. I wonder if Sink is just turned off or turned down just a bit to kind of cruise and make these tires last as much as possible. I'm waiting for that rain to stop. Once it does, it's going to get pretty chaotic because we know it is supposed to stop raining at some point. JML now right on the back of Eke. Stig gets himself another 3-second time penalty, so that puts him up to 6 seconds. He'll remain 6th if the race ended at this point, but hey, he's got to be careful because Hellboy is only 8 seconds behind him. He picks up another penalty that puts Hellboy up in position. Soap's still battling Lando as well. Neither guy is looking to box just yet, trying to make these intermediates last, possibly until the dry compound comes into play. But I don't know. It's still raining. Venox brooding on Enzo, or pretty much the entire TX3 group. Enzo not having quite a bad race at all right now, sitting P2, trying to chase down Sink ahead. He's brought the gap down. It was nearing almost 8 seconds about 2 or 3 laps ago. The gap now 6.4 seconds. Will we see this weather change in a moment? Soap still battling Lando just ahead. Hasn't been able to make a move just yet. And Lando has not used much of his ERS at all. I think he's just cruising around, trying to hold Soap behind. Let's see if he uses it to hold him behind. Nobody's willing to jump into the box just yet. There's a pack of cars. See if Sink dives for the pits at any time soon. No, he's going to stay out for another lap as well. I know you can take intermediates quite a long distance if you take care of them. Sink has the right. He's got a clear track, so he's not going to put too much wear following the cars ahead. And Lando does use a bit of his battery. Enzo sets the fastest lap of the race. Not too much going on behind. Zero starting to catch his teammate here. It'll be interesting if there's a call that comes in from the Ferrari team to let Zero through. Take a look at the guys up here now. Eke still holding on to P3. Ten laps. It's all that remains of this race already. It goes wide yet again. Trying to chase down Harrison just ahead. Let's give you guys a look at the penalty situation. Couple guys are still sitting on 3 seconds. Stig with the 6 seconds. Devla is 6 seconds, but I think that's his. I believe that's his AI. I'm not sure if he's here or not. I did see him rejoin. We'll jump back with the tires. Eke sets a fast lap of the race, trying to put a little bit of distance between himself and JML for sure. Now that we have 9 laps remaining, these guys are really going to start to try to pick it up. The gap at the top, too, has come down. 5.9 seconds. Can Enzo have a nice battle here towards the end? Still raining here at the British Grand Prix. Wonder if this rain will stop. I wish I had a stopwatch. I could tell it was supposed to go dry at about 45 minutes. But it definitely has a bit of rain here still. Clouds are starting to dissipate though. Maybe dries in about 2 or 3 laps. And these guys really... Hellboy's not on a penalty either, so he could jump a couple positions. He's 10.2 off of Stig. Stig does have 6 seconds, so we'll see if Hellboy can get himself closer. Stig's still 7/10 behind Harrison, not yet able to line up a move. Gets a little out of shape there. Still the rain falls. You can tell it's still coming down. Wonder how shot these guys' intermediate tires are by now. Clearly not much for Eke. He set the fastest lap of the race so far with 36.6. Trying to chase down Enzo just ahead. Safety car. Devla has retired from the race. Has that happened on track? Let's take a look. It looks like it was. There is the racing point off to the right. So, this is going to be interesting. Is anybody going to dive for a soft compound? Will they take the gamble? The track is still pretty wet, but the rain has stopped. Yeah, so who is going to take the gamble, ladies and gentlemen? This could get pretty interesting. We'll stay on board with Sync, see what he does. He's got quite a ways to go around, too, before we get back to the pits. Nobody, see, Lord has pitted for another set of intermediates. See what the leader does when he pulls into the pits. There's still quite a bit of spray coming up from these intermediates, but I wonder who's going to take the gamble and put on a dry compound. But everybody pulling into the pits now, except for 2. Ferrari stays out and Mercedes stays out. Ladies and gentlemen, Sync is going to move to a dry compound. This man is making all the calls this evening. Is it going to stay? Lots of guys going to the soft compound. We are going to have quite a shootout towards the end of this race. Stig stays out on a set of intermediates, as well as Harrison. Harrison let his teammate ahead, JML, pit for it right before, so they wouldn't double box the Mercedes team. And it looks like Stig has let Hubdy box first this time around as well. So these guys have a bit of ways to make their rounds. They're following the safety car though. Soap has stayed out. Is anybody accidentally... Lord has pitted for a set of intermediates. I think he's going to box again. Rasta, let's see what he does. Definitely going to be a set of softs for himself as well. Let's see if Sync... How's he doing on those soft compounds? It doesn't look like Sync is having much trouble at all with the spray coming up from those dry compounds. Let's see if the two guys ahead do decide to box. I'm sure they're going to for the soft compound. As you'll see both Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo peel in. What is Stig staying out for? I am not quite sure what he's on about here. Let's see if it pays off for him though. Looks like a lot of guys. It's good. This safety car might be out for quite a bit. A lot of guys definitely pretty much really far behind. But everybody except for Lord. Lord has stayed on the intermediate as well. Is he gonna come up and pit? No, he's gonna take the same gamble SF1 Stig has done so far and stay on the intermediate compound. But I'm telling you, I think this track is gonna clear up within 2 or 3 laps once we go back to green flag racing. You don't see any spray coming off of those dry compounds from zero. And the track is starting to dry quite quickly. Let's see if these guys can catch up within this lap. We just have the AlphaTauri that's a little bit down the road. Rasa has to go crossing the start finish line now. But yeah, this is gonna pay off for Stig. Parts of this track still do look quite wet, but you can't tell. He still has spray coming off of those intermediates, but Sync on a dry compound. Track still looks a little bit damp, but we'll see. Stig staying out still. Should have one more lap before we go back to racing conditions. It looks like Rasta, Bill, and I believe that is Senna starting to catch the back end of the pack. Just keep an eye on those guys that are in the back, see if they catch up. Looks like Senna's just about to catch the pack as we speak. It looks like Bill's not too far behind. I wonder if it will wait for Rasta or not. Yeah, it's definitely drying up. I wonder if Stig is gonna box, unfortunately. And he's trying to get temperature in those tires. Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting restart for the Alfa Romeo driver. I don't know if that was the wrong call. We'll see. Because everybody behind him, all the way down to Lord Dumbledore, is on a set of soft compounds. So he's going to have quite the workout for him. Will we see the safety car pull in now? I don't know if it's going to wait for Rasta or not. Just have to wait for that racing control to let us know. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go back to racing here. It is going to be quite an interesting restart for a lot of these guys. The leader is still on the intermediate compounds. The rest of the guys behind him are on the soft compound. The rain did subside right as soon as the safety car came out, so we'll see how this pans out for these guys. Just waiting on when Stig decides that he's going to start. Give me a better camera angle than this, please. Stig goes for it now. I think he caught off Sink. Sink was sleeping just a bit. And Stig gets a good restart. So did Sink. Enzo's just behind. Eke's right there to battle. J-Mel, where's he at? Let's put Harrison down the border just behind Hellboy. Let's take a look at some of these guys. Okay, maybe this was the right call. Stig has now put himself 3.2 seconds up. But are those intermediates going to last the rest of the race? He has to take them another 4 laps. Sink is 3.6 now, 3.8. Wonder if these guys... Oh, what an interesting call this could have been. Might have been the call of the race. We'll see if they stay on board. 4.3 seconds now. JML just behind. Let's see if Bumbledore, he's the one that stayed on the intermediates as well, so this could pan out really well for the GP3 driver in that Williams team. He's right behind Soap now. I think the crossover might be coming here soon, as Bumbledore's car switched quite a bit. Yeah, I think the intermediates are starting to go off just a bit. 4.2 seconds now from Sink to Stig. It is a gamble. I don't know if the gamble would have paid off. Yeah, because Stig right now just borderlining a podium here for round 12. Oh yeah, the time has really gone down now. Sink is really putting the throttle down. Enzo, Eke, JML. McLaren's trying to break the toe. We have sector 1 yellow. What has happened to Lando? We have side by side Bumbledore and Zero fighting it out. Hubdeep just behind. Oh, Bumbledore gets his car sideways. That's going to put Zero through. Oh, Bumbledore's internet might be a little wonky today. Zero did get through, but he's been put right behind now. Are they going to go side by side through Maggots and Beckett's? That's not a brave thing to do. It looks like Zero does make it, though. Yeah, but the top 3.2 seconds is starting to come down, so the intermediates are not the way to go forward. I'm going to gear up anytime that this is going to be DRS is enabled at some point. Oh, what was that? There was contact between Bumbledore and Lando. DRS is now active. Intermediates are no longer the tire to be on, so let's see what happens. Stig gets himself another time penalty. Lap 24 call, come with tires. Think it'll be a dash for the last X laps. Yes. Carlos lets us know in the chat. Sink has really caught the back of that Alfa Romeo quickly. Eke is right there too. This might be... see if Eke can get himself closer to Sink. DRS is now his against Enzo. Sink right behind. Zero gets himself a 3-second time penalty. This is always how it happens. Stig goes a bit wide. Sink's gonna make a pass on the outside. Looks like, oh, whoa, Sink around the Alfa Romeo. So SF1 Stig took a gamble, and the gamble doesn't look like it's gonna be paying off anytime soon, because Enzo's catching the back of that Alfa Romeo as well. DRS is open. Enzo, be patient. These two did have it coming together in France. Looks like Enzo backs off just a bit. Oh, that was close. Soap gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and Enzo sends Stig off into the gravel. Bit of a contact on the gearbox. If I were Stig, I would box for a set of softs. I know it's going to put you down the pecking order, but there's really nothing to gain by staying out on a set of intermediates at this point. He is going to stay out though. Sink sets the fastest lap of the race. Yes, let your partner go. Thank you, Stig. Where's Soap? Soap's now gonna pull through. That's Senna going after Stig. Senna's gonna peer through on turn 1. Soap right there too. Oh yeah. It's not paid off. Where's Bumbledore? He has Rasta catching him quite quickly as well. Lando looks like he's boxed for a brand new soft compound to go for the end. Maybe fastest lap is in the tank for that. Renault looks like Sink in control of this race. Eke right there as well. A couple guys behind him. Hellboy might get a podium out of this. It'd be great to see a McLaren on the podium this evening. Just has this penultimate lap and one more lap. And they stay with JML. JML gets himself another 3-second time penalty. Just a bit, Crookshy, just a bit. Harrison trying to get himself lined up for a move with Hellboy just ahead. However, Hellboy doesn't have any time penalties. Best you can do is fall right behind the Mercedes and stay on his toe. They got a lot of people in the chat. We're definitely going to root for Hellboy to get a podium. Eke sets the fastest lap of the race. Last lap here. Sink and Eke are going to battle. I think is this going to be a last lap ditch? We'll have to keep an eye on. Jump on board with Eke. Lando, 3-second time penalty. Eke, DRS is his. He's gonna get close, but not close enough for a move just yet. Sink goes into a deep block. Eke gets a good clean entry. Can he get a good exit? Looks like it's gonna be the case. Stig has fallen the whole way to P13 now. Lando sets the fastest lap of the race. Oh my gosh, dude, we get coming into Maggots and Beckett's. Eke is gonna have DRS. Sink, not much battery. Eke has just a bit more. Can Sink. Eke gets himself into the second time penalty. This is now Eke sinks. Oh, Hellboy's got himself a time penalty as well. I just noticed. Sink has done what he needed to do. He's going to grab, on his return, nevertheless, is going to grab the win for the British Grand Prix here in round 12 to bring Haas their first, I believe, victory this season. Sink rounding the final corner now. The winner of your Grand Prix, Sink Rainer. Eke crosses P2, Enzo P3. Whereas JML's going to cross P4. Harrison goes ahead of his teammate. Hellboy's P6. Hubdy bounces to P7. 0 P8, Senna P9, Soap P10. Bill is going to cross and jump Soap for P10. Rasta is going to cross the line in P12. Stig's going to cross the line. Unfortunately, taking a gamble did not pay off this evening. He's going to cross P13. Lord Bumbledore took the same gamble. It doesn't look like it's going to pay off as well. He's going to cross the line P14. But what a race at the end. Sig Rainer, Eke, and Enzo grab that podium for your race. D, voted driver of the day. We'll give you guys a rundown of the race results here for the British Grand Prix. Round 12, Sink grabs the win, followed by Eke in P2, and Enzo round out your podium for P3. Our championship leader, Harrison, finishes 4th, JML 5th. We have Hellboy 6th, Hubdy is 7th. We have 0-8, Senna 9th, Bill 10th. We have Soap in 11th, Rossell 12th, Lord Bumbledore is 13th, Stig 14th, Lando 15th, Unfortunately, we lost out Devla and Luke. We're going to get these guys in for a podium. We have Sync and Eke. I don't know if Enzo will join or not, but I'll always send these guys an invite. All right, let's get on to these podium interviews. Jump to recent played with. Don't know if Enzo's going to join, but we'll kick this off as we are here anyways. All right, what a race, especially at the end. That was intense, the last lap. And Eke, I'll start with you in P2 this evening. First of all, congratulations on a solid race this evening. Having quite a battle with yourself in JML for the opening stages during the rain, and then having a shot at the end there, but unfortunately grabbing that 3 second on the last lap to try to battle Sync ahead of you. Just give us a rundown. You can tell my voice is shot, but give us the rundown, Eke.
Well, yeah, I was really struggling the mid part of the race. I just didn't really have the pace, so Rainer ran away with pretty much the whole race from when he got past me. So like 9-8 seconds when the safety car came out. So he really deserved the win there. So P2 kind of just came to me after Enzo and Stig had a moment there at the exit of Megaton Beckett. Don't know really what happened there. Stig just defending his place with the tires that really should be on his car at that point of time, really.
I did mention that in the stream. I'm not sure if the gamble was worth that kind of gamble. It wasn't going to pay off, but unfortunately that's what it was. But yeah, P2 for yourself this evening.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Before I lose my place here, check something. Okay, Canada is the next race. Are you looking forward to that one?
No, not on pad. It's awful track.
All right, but congratulations, Eke. Hopefully your luck carries over next week. We'll see you then. All right, moving on to the man who makes his return this evening back to SF1. He picks up a win right out of the gate. Sync, what a race you had. Pretty much controlling it from the beginning of the race and then having that nice pretty much solid run towards the end of the race. I thought maybe Stig's gamble would pay off because the first lap you guys went back to racing. He did put a gap, but then it slowly dissipated. Actually, no, not slowly. It quickly dissipated after about 2 laps on those softs, giving you the ultimate chance to win. And then that battle with Eke towards the end, the last lap, but making it count where it had to count, keeping it clean, no time penalty to your name, crossing the line, P1. Congratulations. You had the mic. Go ahead and give us a rundown of your race.
No, it was good. It was a nice little return. I think I made 2 decent overtakes on JML and Eke at the start, and I think that pretty much sealed it. Because after that, it was just straightforward, pulled the gap, and then I thought a safety car was going to come out at some point, and then when it did, it was a bit hard sinking. But I managed to put like a 2.5 second gap, and then I nearly spun out of cop, so that gap completely disappeared for the last 2 laps.
Grabbing the win yourself. I can't say what a solid return enough, but moving into Canada next week, are you looking forward to that track, or is that another, track that not much people care for? I know that.
No, exactly what Eke said, not on the pad.
All right, but like I said, Eke, hopefully your luck carries over to next week. We're definitely going to catch you guys at the Canadian Grand Prix for round 13. For the guys that are watching in the chat and on Twitch, make sure you catch that race next Sunday. Same time, same channel. One more final. Enzo in P3, Eke for P2, and this man, Sync Rainer, making his return, grabbing P1 this evening. We will catch you guys next week. Until then, stay safe, and thank you for tuning in, really. I usually don't thanks, but thank you guys, and thank you guys for an awesome race this evening. We will see you next week.